Well, yes, we are live. We are live. Then welcome everybody for this video. I'm sure not many people will be around at this time because it's been a while since I've done my last video. But in the meantime, I remember the last time I posted here on these pages, it wasn't regarding immigration in the United States of America. Although we are living in an overwhelmed situation all across the world. That's why the title in the immigration is a comfortable point or no. Uh, Many may say that they feel safe in wherever they are. Many are saying not because for me, in my opinion, the last 20 years, I mean, I've been in the UK since 2001. And since I'm being here, there was no a year that immigration was not mentioned in terms of political. Even before the economic year comes, immigration has been a music that has been played all over the world. But it's in our continent, in Africa, because yeah, there is a bit situation going on here. But before that, me and some friends, we got together and we recorded a mixtape. We recorded a music for my friend Zumbi Kitendele. We recorded um, human rights song. Yeah, because it feels like this way there is no human right in many countries. So we dedicate this song for a reflection in our native nation, Angola. Let me play the song and come back to you soon. Human rights.
Inga grande. Direitos humanos.
Hope you are listening.
God hour.
It might not be the quality that you expect, but you get some.
A injustiça nos direitos humanos está no vosso silêncio, na vossa forma de aceitar essa condição e não se
Se tudo acontece por uma razão, qual a intenção de levar o meu povo em via de extinção? Em todos 3 segundos em África morre uma criança. Estava planeado acabar com a nossa raça. Tiveram o nosso corpo, nunca a nossa alma. Não morremos, multiplicamos longos anos de sofrimento. Valor sobrevivemos. Factos são factos contra factos, não argumentos. O mesmo colono que ganhou a guerra, o mesmo mentiroso escreveu a história do planeta. Foi tudo planeado com acto desumano. A Declaração Universal dos Direitos Humanos, conceito criado para beneficiar os privilegiados. Negro africano não tinha direitos como humano. In the name of God fui amaldiçoado, escravizado à corda. Sistema corrupto como a igreja católica zumbi.
Mano, não me peçam para falar baixinho. Não me peçam para não gritar. Não me peçam para não olhar. Nem para eu não acender os meus olhos e para as minhas salivas saírem. Mas estou forte. A condição dos direitos humanos em Angola é inexistente. Não te tapam, nem te atiram terra nas vistas.
A análise internacional declarou que houve melhoria.
Well, family, let me go back to the subject of immigration. Right now, as we're speaking, I think on a few, in many years, I remember in 2004, I've seen all over the media many uncomfortable situations that are happening in South Africa, where the millions or thousands of Malawitas, Zimbabweans, they were killed over this situation, immigration in South Africa. I heard the words that I was unfamiliar, makwerekwere. Obviously, this is a local language that he's been saying and mentioning in South Africa. My background with South Africa, there's a huge Angolan community, most in particular in Cape Town. I remember a few years ago, the Angola consul, the the representative of Angolan government in South Africa. It was meant to facilitate for the Angolans who had no legal documentation in South Africa. It was aimed to facilitate, but I think Mr. Ambassador Carvalho Neto made that worse and difficult for the Angolans. So through social media, we established a very tough position based in connection within South Africa, and then we expose many things that this ambassador were doing. That at some point, yes, the Angolan government to start the legal process of helping the Angolans to get their paper together in order to they get their residence in South Africa. Not many of that, but some of the people, they were in this situation. It might not be your situation, but that was a situation for thousands of Angola. However, my connection come more linked to the South Africa. Obviously, we've seen throughout the media what happening. South Africans going after the other people, and which is a bit intriguing. I remember back in Angola when I was kid, before 1989, when South Africa got independence, before Mandela came out, we had the people from South Africa living in Angola as asylum seekers, and they were well treated because we all Africa knew the circumstances and the problems that South Africa had. Remember, the first independences in our continent started in 1965, 1967, Ghana, Nigeria, Congo, and then so many other countries after the Second World War, and the British Empire decided to relieve some of the countries, and the Caribbeans also, many of Caribbeans, they got the independence. But however, the circumstances today in South Africa is other circumstances, and then therefore we would love to come up and listen to some South Africans and Zimbabwe. They will be talking about this situation. I hope you heard the audio, but this overwhelmed situation that are happening in South Africa, to some point, is so critical, because we are all fighting for South African to have the so-called independence. Many young people, they may not be aware of that, but this is not just because we are independent. Oh my God, this yeah, just because of that we want accept that what they doing. No, they are entitled and they have a right in their country to have a position that say that the country is full of immigrants and we need to reduce. So all right, that's fine, we understand that, but the manners and the way the approach that South Africans are taking, I think it's not good. And for that reason, many African countries start to evacuate their citizens, and they are leaving because life matters, and then you're not going to lose your life because of certain circumstances that can be avoidable, and then that is the situation. But I had a chance to go around the social media and hear some South Africans and some Zimbabwe tell the story that I really want to understand in terms of Makwere or whatever, because these two countries, they have a link. And what happened with the Mozambicans, that the people from Mozambique, they be killed, some of them being sacrificed before, and obviously that create a sense of disturbance, and then that might lead to a revenge. And our head state Africa, that's my critical point of view. Go for the heads of states of Africa, that they, as a leader, they are not able to sit and sort this situation in a clear manner, and then approach a dialogue and say, like, look, yeah, the South African has got reason or whatever, we have to do this one in order for not losing many lives. We remember that civil war in most of countries in Africa is us fighting against us. I think we had a very dark period through the slavery, after slavery, and we had a civil war. all this situation that we need to look into it, but we have to be responsible for our present. We have to be able to deal with our situations and reflect on that. I am an Angolan activist. I've been present in many situations that we protested, not just Angolan government, we protest against the governments that try to kill our people. It that no reason. Remember the Angolan that I was killed a few years ago in Britain while he was deported. So we went across the London and we demonstrate peaceful but very hungry. We demonstrate our hunger because in that manners you are not able. It's not good way of dealing with the people. You have to have approach and say that yeah, it's a time for you guys to leave. We don't want this one, and then after that, okay, you have a reason to have your acting as you think so. So therefore, I want you to hear this audio, and then we're gonna discuss furthermore.
The Zimbabweans were not necessarily a problem for South Africans. There is a problem, of course, South Africans don't want to deal with. If any Zimbabwean who's in Ndebele, I'm sitting in what used to be called the Transvaal. The last king of the Transvaal was a Zimbabwean king called Msilikazi Mashowa. And you read this in South African history. It's not made up. He only crossed over into Zimbabwe, retreating from Paul Kruger. So I'm supposed to tell the Ndebele people, go back to South Africa. I mean, it's almost, it's ahistorical. But why is this a problem? I want to suggest that it's a problem for certain white constituencies that's been nicely fed into black constituencies. And I'm not suggesting there are no problematic Zimbabweans engaging in crime and other things. No, I won't be that simplistic. Their neighbors have been living in semi-autonomous modes for some time. And they've learned business complexity, like this building. Remember, I kept saying to you, big money makes money from our people. These people, the Somalis, the Zimbabweans, the Nigerians, I'm not talking about the ones that may be involved in crime or are illegal, the legal ones. Where are they setting up? They're setting up in the middle economy. They're setting up in the townships. And who are they threatening? They're threatening ShopRite. Yes. And so it is those sort of, so our people end up fighting battles for somebody else. On behalf of ShopRite. Yes, for somebody else. Because they're fighting the spaza shops on behalf of ShopRite. Perhaps they will say they want the spaza shops. No. But if that was the fight, I would say to them, hey, come. You have access to capital. Come and set up in Badridge. Come and set up in Rwanda so that Zimbabweans are not crossing here to come and buy, not from you. Because look at how many Zimbabweans cross into this country. Thousands that don't stay, that cross just to buy. So why is South African black business not setting up in Harare? Or in Badridge and Baybridge, yes. Spare yourself the cost. I will make a little bit more money because I'm getting paid dollar. Right? Since you guys are using US dollar. And I'm saving you the trip. I can even set up a delivery. You order from your home in Sakuba, we'll deliver because it'll still be cheaper than you having to pay, bribe people at the border, make a risky. The intra-Southern African black community that united to fight against colonial occupation needs to have an economic logic to it. That actually says we have differences. They're very practical. Let's not pretend that having Zimbabweans, Mozambicans, and others won't cause a strain on the healthcare system here. Let's ask ourselves a more practical question. If you look at how much money is being made out of Zimbabwe by South African business, out of Nigeria by South African big business, right? You surely must, as black people, we must be getting to a stage where we're saying, hang on, how do we turn our problem into our benefit? How do we talk to the Department of Trade and Industry and others and say under the so-called Continental Free Trade Agreement, how do we create collectives of black business that enables a broader wealth base through investing in manufacturing or whatever it is that we're doing. Because isn't it ironic that
So your answer essentially put is, do you want to solve the big immigration question in South Africa? The solution is go set up businesses in Zimbabwe. Zimbabweans won't come here because they will work for you, they will buy from you.
the bulk of the Zimbabweans who come here don't stay. The bulk of the Zimbabweans who come here don't stay. If you go to Bay Bridge border post, they don't stay. And it's a very interesting thing. Think about it. Nobody talks about the generation of Zimbabweans that came in the 1930s, right? 1950 cities came for the Swanella things. Children were born here. In fact, some of them don't even know that they are Zimbabweans. It's only when they die that some
and Malawians. There's a
Yes.
significant
Yeah.
naturalized Malawian population, but there are a lot of Zulus in Malawi who went there
Yes.
with this Mhlekazi arrangement. Yes.
Was in Wayenda, yeah.
Yeah, in the Zwangendaba in the 1800s. It's so long ago.
So now you will say Jan van Riebeck's niece or nephew or grandchild is more indigenous than
Mzilika's grandchildren.
I mean, everything think about this, right? The Zulu king goes to Malawi for Ingwala, right? That's a celebration. They recognize that these are their people. Same thing saying, and then these people are supposed to be Makwerekwere.
Hey there, thanks for tuning in. Want more
Well, as you could hear, the debate, the engagement that has been taking place around the South Africa in concern to this immigration situation, it's an energy that has been around for a long time. Let's say tomorrow all the immigrants live in South Africa. What's going to be the next? Because it's our continent. What's going to be the next? So we need to think about what's going to be the next. And the aim of my videos, when I'm talking about whatever happened or whatever taking places in South Africa or in another continent, is not aiming to agitate anybody else. It's a reflection. We need to reflect our action. We need to be responsible, because we cannot be all the time melting down on having excuses and to blame somebody, but responsible. The thing that happened in Africa, we need to be more responsible toward what is our. It's our people. What is the approach that we have with our people? We need to do something to defend our people. We're not going to be proud of gold and diamond, everything. And the most important commodity, or whatever they say, is a human being. That some of those technocratics, they've been called it as a human commodity, because humans make a difference when you work in the factories, whatever the production for this organization. So they come with this so-called name. No, we need to fight for our existence, and our existence is mean the situation in South Africa has to be though. Another situation that we live in continent African, that among of us African, we ignore it. Mostly recently, we saw what happened in the borders between Morocco and Spain. There was a Tartar. The Moroccans being deep, destroying African bodies on a daily light. We all watched it in the social media. And we are on the same continent. We cannot approach these individuals and say to them, if that continues, we cannot. We're not going to be able to do something, because the Sub-Saharians have been destroyed on this country. Another country that made Africa as a slavery community. This is all. When you Google modern slavery, you're going to go straight away to Libya. You're going to go straight away to Libya, and the United Nations, everybody is aware. What we do as a country, as a continent, what the challenges are posing in there for our leaders. So at the end of the day, this is my focus, my vision. I know, my dear friends, I haven't been posting for quite a while over here in my channel in English, because I'm focused on some dissertation, some of the other work, but I promise to reshape the channel and come back with more focus and more information. You won't be long, but we'll be soon. But at the same time, I guess that We already are through the 6 months of 2026, and then it has been a hard year, a year with a lot of heartbreaking, lot of disappointment, most in particular for the immigrants, because situation that is taking place in many places of the world. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time. Appreciate the time you've taken and to come and join us on this video. Thank you so much. Jika Tetembo. One love.